Welcome to another edition of Red Meat. I'm Jim Geraghty along with Mark Hemingway. This is our special Obamania edition. We've been kind of watching the president-elect in his news conferences. Mark, I don't know about you, but I'm finding his words well chosen and his tone confident and reassuring, yet he's saying next to nothing. And it's amazing how he can speak at length without actually coming to any points. Anything jumping out at you as the surprising number of press conferences and yet the fairly content-free Q&As we're seeing with the new president?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to rain on Obama's parade. He's not president yet, So obviously we can cut him a little slack, wait till he actually does something officially before we pass any judgment. That said, I mean, everything he's done since he was elected has been utterly, entirely conventional. I mean, we got 3/4 of the old Clinton administration back in town running the show, just nothing but a bunch of party insiders and establishment people that have been filling the cabinet, and we've got just a lot of carefully, laid out statements, saying where he's going to go on one thing or another, and I don't know if that's what people expect. It's not exactly charismatic. It's not the lofty rhetoric, and it's frankly not real leadership.
I salute him for the degree of respect he has for President Bush and the way he's saying the country doesn't have two presidents at once. Clearly doesn't want to step on his toes. But the problem is there are certain issues coming up that we're in a stasis period. And the two that jump to mind are the auto industry bailout, where Obama has been very careful in his words to not say, yes, we absolutely have to do this, or no, I don't like these. We're really in this vague gray area with him. And the second one that really got me was the Mumbai massacre, in which, judging from the words, he offered very reassuring and emotionally appropriate words, but we have apparently witnessed the 5th most deadly terror attack in world history. And to the best of our knowledge, no aspect of the U.S.-India or Pakistan relationship are going to change at all.
I read it in multiple sources, and I couldn't actually quote to you a single thing that he said on it. And it's just so generally mundane. And remember, this was a campaign issue, with the Georgia attacks or whatever. John McCain came out very forcefully, and some people felt that he was a little too heated. But the fact of the matter is John McCain came out there and made a moral stake, moral claim there on what was right and what was wrong, and was very unambiguous about that and who the U.S. would support, should he end up president. Whereas, I realize it's a tense situation in both countries with nuclear powers and stuff, but I feel like Obama certainly should be not overly hawkish or anything like that, just a little more out there and a little more condemnatory of this is right and this is wrong and we're not going to stand for terrorism.
Yeah, I realize there are no easy policy answers, but right now it just seems like the sense is that America is going to muddle through, and 6 Americans are dead, and I kind of wanted to see some sort of sense of vengeance coming from my government.
But again, that's been Obama's approach his entire campaign. And he muddles through. He has superior resources, and a better, a better fan base, as it were. He's the entire campaign. He's muddled through every difficult issue, and I don't think he can do that in the presidency. I mean, if you're going to be a great leader, you're going to have to take some real risks. And Obama, from what we've seen so far, is frankly not a risk taker.
Yeah. Well, speaking of fan base, there's been a lot of a particularly ubiquitous commercial referring to the Obama commemorative plates. Now, I don't know about you about putting a logo on every single product in front of you, but I find it tasteless. No, it's just a little bit strange when you watch this commercial in which they talk about Obama's kind eyes and confident smile and other lines that I think Chairman Mao would have found over the top. Is it kind of weird that we now entered the merchandising stage of Obamamania?
What are you talking about, Jim? I ordered 3 of the plates.
There you go. Okay.
I put them up on my mantle right next to my collector's set of Princess Diana Memorial shot glasses.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, again, but this has been Obama's entire strategy, and it's worked. It's been more about branding than anything else. Actually, very early on in the campaign, Patrick Buffini of the Next Right wrote a very interesting blog post about how Obama wasn't really running for president so much as he was marketing this high-end luxury brand, and it's very, very true. And obviously, we're not talking about high-end luxury brands with the the plates, the collector's plates.
fine porcelain
Right.
depiction of our great leader.
Sure to be found in democratic senior citizens' homes everywhere. What we're seeing here clearly is that the marketing or the selling of the president, I guess. We can update the making of the president to be the marketing of the president.
Well, as you're saying, selling. I myself am asking, how am I going to afford all these commemorative plates that I'm dying to buy? And for me, an option for you living in the District of Columbia, for myself in Northern Virginia, renting out our places to Obama fans in town for the inaugural. Apparently, is it 4 to 5 million are expected in town? Way more than they have hotel rooms for. Apparently, people will be bunking out everywhere. I have a fine 3-bedroom condominium available in Alexandria, Virginia for the right price. I understand one went for 50 grand recently. So I'm expecting something in that neighborhood, Obama supporters. Now, Mark lives in the D.C. I bet you could get a pretty handy
I live within walking distance of the Capitol.
There
in
you
fact,
go.
So,
all right.
yeah.
I think 70, 80 grand for a couple of days at your place would be, a fair price.
Oh, the irony. I honestly, there was just a story in the Washington Post today where some phantom businessman who had set up an entire ball at one of the Marriott hotels in town, and was going to bring a bunch of wounded soldiers and people and disabled people and things like that into town just for the inauguration or whatever. Look, I don't want to take away too much from it. I mean, look, in some respects, this is not about Obama. It's one of the few times, well, I will just say, race kind of matters, in the sense that it's not going to matter from day one when he's governing president, but the simple symbolic act of putting a black man in the office, I think we can be happy about that for one day, at least until he starts ruining the country the next. So I don't want to begrudge people the happiness that they feel about it, and I certainly I joke about him ruining the country, but I wish him the best, and again, it really is an amazing thing to think about. And it's just one other thing that I want to remember and savor. So when people start telling me how backwards we are compared to Europe, I will point out that it will be hell will be a skating rink for disadvantaged youth before Germany or Britain elects a black prime minister or chancellor. So I think that I can at least be proud of that.
Mark, I think it's very noble of you, a good spirit of you when you say you don't want to take anything away from these people. I do want to take things away from these people. I want to take about $50,000 of people who'd like to stay in Alexandria, Virginia, in a 3-bedroom condominium. Perhaps I'll be out of town. I'm expecting a security deposit in the $20,000 to $25,000 range. Anyway, please use the contact sites, the contact emails for Mark in the corner and myself at the campaign spot. Very reasonable deals if you're an Obama supporter who just has, tens of thousands of dollars lying around and you happen to be watching Red Meat on National Review Online. Hopefully this will be a fruitful and prosperous edition. We hope you're doing well, and thanks for watching.